Hello everyone, and welcome to the 59th episode of the Poorly Planned Podcast. My name is Benedict. You probably know me better as PHL Hudson. With me as always is my friend, co-host, and friend.
Friend, co-host, and friend.
In that order. Frederick. Here we talk about movies, TV shows, and a bunch of nonsense.
You nailed that one.
I certainly did. This was recorded on September 8th, for the record. Also, we've just discovered this was really poorly planned, but also inversely so, because I accidentally planned too much.
So, it's a weird paradox we're in.
We were going to record 6 episodes today, and I realized I've prepared for 7, but so I guess we're just going to do 6. I don't know.
We'll see.
It's a confusing life. But you know what? Hopefully, if we're able to see each other and all that at some point on vacations or whatever, then you won't even notice the difference.
Yeah.
So let's just get into it. Today we're talking about Quentin Tarantino movies. Well, an excellent director.
God, love the man. Probably my favorite director, I'd say.
Really?
Yeah.
Above...
I mean, I don't really know many directors.
I should state up front, I have not seen, and I am assuming you have not either, Jackie Brown or Death Proof.
I have not either.
I'll get to them someday, and I'm gonna make an epic...
I've not even seen
video.
The Dogs of the Reservoir.
Oh, well, good thing that's the first thing we're talking about. So, overall thoughts on Quentin Tarantino movies?
I love the man. Both him, like, as a person and also his movies. It's very...
You love him as a person.
I do.
Isn't he a bit of a...
No, I mean, some say he's a bit of an asshole. I mean, he's done some questionable things, but I like his kind of, like, no f***s given attitude. Have you seen, like, the interviews where it's, like... some reporters like, what's with all the violence? And he just goes,
in that way.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, I
mean, I can't say how good of a husband he is, but like,
you can't vouch for him as a person, but you enjoy his personality in interviews.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I think he makes very entertaining,
very unique movies.
Yeah, well,
you're never uncertain that it's a Tarantino.
No, he has a very distinct style with a lot of feet involved.
Well, we'll talk about that.
I think he is one of the best directors still working today, although I think his next movie might be his last.
Yeah.
Although I feel like he says that after every movie he does.
I mean, he said that he'll do 10 movies, and then he'll be done.
Okay. Well, technically, I mean, if you count Kill Bill as more than one movie, he's done more than 10. But, oh, well.
Was it 10 or 12 movies, maybe? It might have been 12.
Well, anyway, Quentin.
He,
spoilers for all these, Timecodes in the description. All right, let's go. His first movie... Also, we're only talking about movies he's directed alone and not movies that he's just written but not directed. These are just his how he would, since he says like, oh yeah, The Hateful Eight was my 8th movie, we're going by that. Yeah. So, Reservoir Dogs.
Doggy Dogs.
Put the emphasis on the dogs.
I really want to watch this. I haven't seen it yet. I've seen a few scenes with, what's the guy?
Steve Buscemi.
Not that man. The guy who's like also in The Hateful Eight.
Tim Roth.
No, it's like... he's got a pretty Danish name. Like Danish
Michael
name.
Madsen.
Yeah, Michael Madsen.
Yeah.
I've seen the dancing scene, like...
Where he tortures the guy?
Yeah.
That's pretty dark.
Pretty Madsen.
Pretty Madsen. Is he Danish?
No, he just got a Danish-sounding name.
Yeah, I used to confuse him with Mads Mikkelsen, but then I realized, how could I?
Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, you can't do the same with Michael Madsen.
Michael Madsen.
Oh, you can do it. You've got it wrong.
Danish.
Reservoir Dogs, a really excellent film. I mean, if you haven't seen it, I don't have a ton to discuss about it, so I'll just make this a monologue.
Okay.
No, I mean, it's very...
It's got the, like, kind of standoff, right, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has very great... it has great acting, great writing, as usual. It's basically... Yeah, think of Tarantino, and then, like... If it's sort of like, you can sort of imagine his beginnings, like before he had these like kind of epic scale with like Django or even Pulp Fiction. It's like a lower budget Pulp Fiction
kind of here's Quentin.
Yeah, it's not like Pulp Fiction, but in terms of his like style and his writing, that kind of thing, it is like a lower budget, kind of like his kicking off point for like big movies. It has really good performances, great. From memory, it has like. Sort of the timeline is a bit messed up, so it's like...
That's a classic
Tino
move.
It's classic Tino. It's so it has like some exciting reveals, which I won't spoil. And yeah, it's pretty brutal. But
yeah, I can imagine.
And it has some very funny moments as well, so just very Quentin. Sorry we don't have much to say about that, but again, BHL Hudson will be having an epic video at some point where I'm just going to go in depth on these things. But that's not what.
Damn. Holy smokes.
That's not what the pod is, though.
No, we are not in depth at all.
Pulp Fiction. This you have seen.
An excellent movie.
Very excellent film.
I love it so much. It is, again, the timeline is very skewed and everything, but again, very, very Quentin-esque storytelling. And all around great cast. Wouldn't you say so? Wouldn't you say so, Beach?
Yeah, I think it has such a stacked cast.
It does.
It has the ultimate 90s cast.
It's got who's
Jackson, Travolta, Willis, Uma Thurman.
Who's
Ving Rhames.
There it is, the Rhames.
The Rhames from Cruise fame.
From Cruise fame. The Rhames from Cruise fame.
It's, I'm sure we're missing another main character. I mean, it's iconic.
You already said Travolta, no?
Yes, yeah. I would never miss Travolta. It's an iconic film. It's, for such a mainstream movie, goddamn, it is pretty.
It is
pretty rough at some points. With, I mean, the adrenaline shot is pretty crazy scene, and the whole Rhames Willis story.
I'll say I also do like Tarantino's acting in this as well. Pretty good.
Oh yeah, he gives himself a cameo in every movie.
Yeah.
He's a main character in Reservoir Dogs.
Is he?
He's not the main, but he's one of the main crew. Yeah, no, he's pretty good in it, I think.
I don't know,
I think
he's actually not the thing you should take away. God, Tarantino was amazing in this. But I like it when a director shows up in the movies.
Yeah, I think it's just sometimes it. If I didn't know who he was, maybe I wouldn't notice it. But because I know he's not specifically an actor, maybe I think his acting's a little weird. But overall, yeah, he's good when he does a little cameo, and it's a very funny film. I mean, Jackson and
I think it might be my favorite Jackson portrayal ever.
It is his most iconic, inarguably.
It is so good.
And him and Travolta are great together. And again, it has that classic Tarantino dialogue that they're kind of talking about nothing, but they're kind of talking about something. They're talking about movies and TV.
You're still kind of looking.
Yeah, you're still very invested in the it's fun and engaging and still and builds the characters as well. And the Willis Rhames subplot, I remember
it's also good. I think.
Well, it's good, but I remember it was the most. I don't know, not the most disturbing thing I've ever seen, but it was sort of, considering that I've seen sort of some horror movies and all that kind of stuff where this sat with me more, it just sort of
with the gimp and all that.
It's so viscerally
it's
unpleasant.
It's so
it's very, so I guess in that way,
but a big Willis and Rhames bro moment at the end.
Well, there's a great, I don't know, it's also
I'm pretty fucking far from okay.
I again with Tarantino movies that even though the good guys aren't necessarily good, they always triumph over the worse guys, arguably. And yeah, so that scene, I think it's also, it's effective in making you, it's almost darkly funny at points, and then it's effective in making you very uncomfortable, and then also it has this kind of, then when Willis finally gets out there and saves the day, it's quite a satisfying moment.
Sage day, baby. Sage day.
I think the Willis and his girlfriend subplot is the only one that's a little.
No, yeah, that's I'm not really that invested in it, but I guess
that's the one conversation scene where I'm this isn't as. She's I love pancakes or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Christopher Walken shows up.
He does.
Talks about putting a watch in your ass. It's very good.
I mean, yeah, but the whole story with his girlfriend as well. I guess it's kind of necessary for it to be there because then it leads to the whole Rhames.
Yeah, no, of course. The Rhames meetup. That's one way to put it, as they try to shoot each other in the streets. The Rhames encounter. And Travolta, of course, gets... Oh, spoilers, by the way. If you haven't seen Pulp Fiction, come on.
What are you doing?
I'll put the start. Spoilers for all these. Time codes in the description. All right, let's go. So, Travolta gets riddled with bullets.
God, that was really
quite a shocker.
But
it's also, that's the fun reveal of a mixed timeline. A lot of movies have tried to do the disjointed timeline, and just gets kind of confusing or even obvious where it's going, whatever. This does it perfectly, where everything kind of pieces together in an interesting and also shocking way.
Yeah.
Very extremely, one of the most quotable movies of all time. I was thinking of getting you a wallet that said "bad motherfucker" on it as
a
present.
That. I'm in need of a new wallet.
Right.
So
I mean, I definitely wasn't gonna do that. And by the way, don't tell anyone else you want that until Christmas.
But I think sometimes when a character's death is revealed, and you see more of the character throughout the movie, I don't know, it kind of diminishes your whole engagement with that character. But in this movie, they still do it well.
No, yeah,
because like
it's
he got a lot to do, and then you kind of cut back to something like where he shot what's the guy's
Marvin.
name? Shot Marvin in the face.
Who actually is played by Phil Lamar, voice of Green Lantern.
Oh my god, it's all tying together.
So he shot Green Lantern.
Green Lantern in the face. Like, and then also back to the cafe slash diner.
The diner.
Yeah.
Tim Roth is great too.
All the time, you're like, I know he's dead, but I still love that he's here.
You're still invested in his story and his character, and also the wolf
that flies.
No.
No, yeah, the wolf is also very good.
The wolf is amazing. So yeah, excellent movie.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good. Jackie Brown, haven't seen, but I think it has Michael Keaton in it. I'm getting to it soon. Kill Bill. Have you seen this?
I've seen Kill Bill. I haven't seen. I don't think I've seen the second one.
Okay, well Quentin says they're one movie.
But Quentin's a fool.
But I know better than
Literally
Quentin.
called Volume 2.
I really, I don't know. I have a weird relationship with these movies. Yeah, because I remember watching them. I remember thinking they were very good, but I never am like.
I've never
compelled
I was not blown away.
Think about them or talk about. Like I also, whenever someone talks about like Quentin Tarantino movies, for some reason I never like. They're arguably some of his most iconic films, but they, for some reason, it didn't really stick with me.
I don't think it's at all. Like it's got hints of Tarantino, but I don't think the writing is as clever at all. It's very just.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just she goes and kills like 100 ninjas or something.
That was Tarantino's pitch for it. All the Kill Bill fans in the comments right now. I remember the conversation at the end, I believe of the second one, she has with presumably Bill. From that, this is so bad. I haven't seen these in like 2 years.
It's the start of the second one, isn't it? Like
no, there's an ending where she talks to him and they talk about like Superman or something. I remember that conversation being very good.
He dies in the beginning of the second one, no?
Okay, then maybe it was someone else, or maybe it was at the start of the end of the first one. I don't know, but
yeah.
I remember that conversation, and I think people know what I'm talking about if you've seen them. That was very good, and it has moments of great writing. It has really good action, and it's sort of like cheesy over the. It's meant to be like create like blood spurting like literally everywhere.
It is like
that
insane.
That is like
sprinkler blood, yeah.
Yeah, fun like Tarantino kind of thing, and also there's an animated segment which is very good. I think they're very good movies, and I should probably rewatch them. I just remember. Well, that's the thing. I don't really remember like especially compared to these others. It didn't stick with me.
Oh god, podcaster here.
But yeah, Freddie's dad just called. He's like, "Kill Bill is amazing. You guys shut the
please do not diss it."
You can talk to Mother if you need to, or
no, that's okay. Can I actually charge my phone though? The classic.
You can unplug my AirPods. So, yeah, that's Kill Bill. Death Proof, haven't seen. Apparently his worst movie.
I've not even heard of this.
It's with Kurt Russell. It's like supposed to be like a cheesy like B movie, but it's just.
When did he make this?
2007, I want to say.
Really?
But it's not. It was also. It's a part of like. It's a weird movie where like 4 different directors did 4 parts of like, but they're all each a movie or something. It's a whole thing. Anyway, I haven't seen it.
Interesting.
But apparently not his best work.
Okay.
Then we come to arguably his best work.
I think so. I think this is probably his best.
You consider your favorite movie of all time.
One of them, at least.
One of, yeah.
Please, stay humble, sir.
Inglorious Bastards. Inglorious Bastards.
God, I like the accent, though. Add a lot of spice. It's such a... Like,
I mean, we talked about
There's not a bad moment in this movie. It is both entertaining, the action's great, it's like dialogue, and it's just written in such a clever...
Great. Amazing acting.
Yeah.
Pit.
Need I say more? Pit.
We talked about it a lot in the favorite movies episode, so if you want a more in-depth thing, go back to that. But we got 3 more movies to get through here. So yeah, Inglorious, amazing, obviously.
Yeah.
Now, I think maybe my favorite Tarantino.
Ooh. I mean, this is my second favorite.
Django.
The
D is silent, though, as he says.
Hippie.
No, he says hillbilly, I think.
Did you say hillbilly?
I think so. Because I don't think hippies were around. Django, just... I don't know, I think it's everything that makes Inglorious Bastards great, but just with even more... I guess, like, such a lame word, but, like, epic moments? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, the ending... Also, I have to say, the song at the end that plays is one of my favorite...
When he blows up the house?
One of my favorite songs of all time. Like, I associate with, like, good times in my life when like I saw this movie, but like
he had a horse.
That's exactly what I was talking about. And at the end when he like again, it's that I think Inglorious Bastards and Django and probably Once Upon a Time in Hollywood are the perfect examples of like the bad guys getting it, like
Getting it.
getting like I don't know,
Exactly
like
what
what's
they
coming
deserve.
to them, kind of in an over the top like violent Tarantino kind of way. Where and he Samuel Jackson was so awful. DiCaprio
he
was so
yeah.
awful, and he gets shot by. And I think this is my favorite Waltz performance ever.
No, yeah.
Like, I
Waltz is
think-
great in Inglorious as well, but God.
He's probably it's probably a better performance in Inglorious maybe,
But,
but
you enjoy him more
he's
here.
so likable and fun. And the
Yeah.
fact that he did these movies, well, he didn't do the movies back to back, but like back to back Tarantino, and he is completely
back-to-back Oscar winner.
Yeah, completely different type of character, and he's
Yeah.
amazing as both. And Jamie Foxx is great as well. I also love the I like the way you die boy moment.
Yeah,
Excellent
so good.
moment with the music as well. It's just a very enjoyable. And yeah, it has these like horrific scenes that maybe like go a little bit too far, but it does. Again, it makes it so satisfying when Django finally, when they get revenge
everything is
on these
just-
horrible people.
I
And,
so love was like, what's DiCaprio's wife's name?
oh, I can't remember.
Like say something goodbye. Goodbye, Miss whatever, and he just shoots and just flies. Like also very
yeah.
She just flies
Oh
out
yeah,
the doorway.
what's her name? Miss.
Yeah, see.
I love this scene though. Yeah, it's great. And the action also, and like the music. Tarantino uses what's the word? Anachronism? Is that the word? It's where
Yeah, don't ask me.
you use like modern stuff in something that's set like in another time period. So like he uses like there's a Rick Ross song, there's a Tupac song, but it's I don't know, it fits like it doesn't really take you out. It fits very well.
Yeah.
And the action scene with the Tupac song where he's there's like the shootout.
Yeah.
God, it's so good. And then also Goggins almost cuts off his balls, but then he
He
doesn't.
does.
That is a
Why
horrifying scene.
Why is it that he doesn't?
Because Jackson interrupts him.
All right.
And then he's sent. Yeah, it's so. I don't know. There are also such stakes in it, I guess, because of how. Like, it's very unpleasant and visceral, like the bad stuff in it. But I guess that does add, like, tension. Like, you really. And when he shows up to save his wife, and she
so
she
good.
thinks it's like DiCaprio or something, and he's like, "It's me, baby." And then the music becomes triumphant. Woo. Like it's this classic. I love the use of the music as well, like this classic triumphant like Western type music. Excellent film, fun dynamic with him and Waltz,
and got DiCaprio, also one of the best DiCaprio.
and amazing
performances.
DiCaprio performance.
You know the thing with like the smashing the glass? How
He did
just-
that for real,
God,
yeah.
Amazing.
Accidentally. Accidentally the best actor. So I'd say my favorite Tarantino and one of my favorite movies ever. Even though I didn't mention it in the favorite movies thing, I'm pretty sure. Hateful Eight. Have you seen this?
I have seen this.
You have? Oh yeah, you did. We talked about it a little bit.
Now, a great movie, but a very slow burner.
Yes. Did you watch it on a plane?
No, I watched it traveling, but I do not remember if it was on I don't think it was on a plane though. I think it was like on a long car trip.
Because I don't think it's a kind of movie that you would want to do that with. Because it's very, like, I think you have to like really settle into it. And like,
I think this would be a much better experience like watching it in the cinema.
yeah, it's not a time killer. Like,
No.
it's not like something you watch like to pass the time quickly. You know, like it's a very slow burn.
It was like 3 hours long or something?
Yeah, and there's an extended cut that's like 5 hours or something. But I watched it. I watched it as it was intended. But no, I didn't see it in the cinema, so I didn't. But I watched it like on TV and on the couch, as you do.
Yeah,
and I really this was kind of divisive. Like some people liked it, some people didn't. I really, really loved it. I don't think it's his best.
No, I don't think so. Like I think
Of his modern films, of these four, I'd say it's the worst. Of like his time period films, because he kind of goes like crime films and then whatever this phase is with
this weird midlife crisis he had.
Jackie Brown and Death Proof and Kill Bill, and then his modern kind of like time period things. I think this is probably the worst of those, but it's still, I don't know, it's so, when you just get engaged and sucked into this world, I find it to be a very engaging film. And even though, like, I didn't notice, people were like, oh, it's too claustrophobic because it's based on like a stage play, so it's like, it's only in 2 locations or whatever.
No, I think if he hadn't, like, he couldn't have done this any better, If he'd done it in a different way, it would have been a much worse movie. So I think, like, even though what maybe makes it a little bit hard to watch, the fact that it's so long or in these 2 locations, also what, like, makes the actual movie.
I think it's a very interesting and cool experience. And again, if there's anyone who can do this, like, dialogue, basically it's just a movie of dialogue and make it interesting. And then, like, a little bit of a shootout here and there with, like, Tatum shows up for a second. And again, the arguably better guys, or at least the bad guys that you like more, get the best of the situation in the end.
The Goggins and the Samuel.
The Goggins and the Samuel team up. What a moment.
That was a good
Even though
moment.
they're both probably terrible, They team up and kind of...
And Samuel loses his balls.
Oh, yeah, he does. But then
Channing shoots him in the testes.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. And then they kill the woman... what's her name? Jennifer Jason Leigh, who gives an amazing performance in this. Oh, my God.
Jesus, that's Jennifer.
Jennifer Jason Leigh, who gives an amazing performance in this. Yeah, and Samuel Jackson tells that Confederate guy that he made his son in the snow.
Oh, yeah.
That's a pretty unpleasant scene to watch. Do you think he was lying about that, or... Cause it's kind of left ambiguous, because he also lied about the Lincoln letter.
Yeah, probably, right?
Yeah. Let's think about that more. Let's talk about that for the rest of the episode. But it's an excellent... I think it's a really, really good movie, and some great performances again.
Yeah.
And an interesting, like... mystery whodunit, like you're trying to figure it out, and then when Samuel kind of cracks it, and with the with Senor Bob, that's an excellent moment.
Minnie's what?
Haberdashery.
Haberdashery.
I love the word haberdashery.
It's so good.
It's such like, a powerful word.
It reminds me of Buster Scruggs for some reason.
And yeah, well shot, good like time period with like costumes and all that. Very good movie.
Yeah.
And then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which we have. I feel like we've talked about on the pod because we meme it so much in our real lives, but we actually have never talked about it on the pod.
Have we really not?
I'm pretty sure we haven't.
God.
And let's not start now.
No, a great movie.
Great movie. It was...
honestly, it was an entertaining thing, even like without all the violence. Like the violence at the end was probably the most entertaining.
Well, it was very funny and like crazy, and yeah, when I saw it with my dad as well, we had a good laugh during that.
Great Pitt performance. Great DiCaprio.
Great performances all around. And it is similarly to Hateful Eight. I guess it's more of a slow burn.
Yeah, but not it. Like where Hateful Eight is a lot more tense, I would say. This is just kind of like it's a lot easier to watch.
Yeah, it feels like, and this is probably too insulting of a word, but like it's a bit meandering, and like it can kind of feel like nothing's really happening, but it never bothered me really.
Yeah, like it's kind of like a slice of life.
Yeah,
with Tarantino's little take on it, you know.
Yeah, and there's still it's exciting stuff like Pitt meeting the hippies and
also the fact that it's part of history, that it's kind of like, even though it doesn't like center around the Charles Manson story, you know that it's like it's there, and it's gonna
and again
pop up.
It's like justice served kind of thing, that like this is what Tarantino probably like wishes would have happened. And I mean that's very funny and satisfying in that way. And it's a very one of Tarantino's funniest films. DiCaprio gives a very funny performance. I also like his character arc, because even though he's kind of like an idiot, he's also likable, and like you're kind of rooting for him. And just a very, I don't know, I never felt bored while watching, I guess. No. Like a lot of people said it was boring. I feel like it built up the characters well and had enough like atmosphere. Even though Pitt drives for like 50 minutes, it's still entertaining. Do you think he killed his wife?
I think so, but
he probably didn't
he?
But I'd like to think he didn't.
But don't you think it was like... Didn't they say there was like a justifiable reason?
Well,
okay, I mean justifiable, like... But he didn't just like go murder maniac.
No, but she was... I mean, the reason basically... It's like a humorous scene where like she's just the most like awful, horrible wife ever. And she's like, I hate you, and like you're the worst. And then he's just like... It cuts on him just like staring at her with a harpoon gun. And then it just kind of cuts, and then you don't really know what happens.
I feel like he's done it.
He probably did it, yeah. Which again is this Tarantino thing where the good guys aren't actually good.
Yeah.
But you still root for, but it's also because you get the most likable actors in the world, like Pitt to play him.
Pitt and DiCaprio.
Come on, Pitt is...
How can you not love him?
Pitt versus Bruce Lee. Again,
so
controversial because some people thought it was disrespectful to Bruce Lee, but just as a scene in the movie, it's a very funny scene. So, what would you say your favorite is? Actually, we already know it's Inglorious.
Yeah.
Shut up.
But let's rank the top 5, shall we?
Okay.
I'd probably say... So, Inglorious, then the Django. Probably had to hit you with a Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
And then Hateful Eight. But it's sad because like all of these are really, really good.
Yeah, no, I would honestly I'd do the same, although maybe Hateful Eight and Reservoir Dogs switched around, but I like switched out. But generally, same thing. Oh, and also Django and Inglorious. We'll swap
a little
there.
Bit of a twist.
So now it's time for
the Timecodes.
All right. New Tom Cruise car fact. He couldn't get his 1958 Corvette started after a night out. Well, Tom Cruise...
This is all just him having trouble with his cars, isn't it? It's not often that a 1958 Porsche is found out in the wild. But then again, most people aren't anywhere near Tom Cruise. After being snapped with Katie Holmes on a date night, Cruise made his way into his vehicle. where he initially struggled to get it started to take off.
This is just an insulting article of Cruise. I'm sorry, Cruise. We don't
Who
agree
was
with...
Katie Holmes again?
That was his wife at the time, I think. She was
Really?
in Batman.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say she's like an actress. No.
Yeah. Well, good for you, Cruise. That's our
Wait,
Cruise.
what about the other?
Oh, we don't have time.
Oh,
No more cruises. Fine, we'll do it. Just
yes. He often flies private jets.
Well, duh.
Yeah.
He's a celeb.
Please.
Got it. Okay, thank you, thethings.com. So, I also want to point out just a funny thing that I remembered because the fan pages put it out there. There is still a petition for me to turn into Carnage.
You know, I put that in my Insta bio.
Of course you have. Well, you can go down. There's a link in the description. If you want to sign it, I'm not going to dye my hair red, but maybe I'll do like an epic gag or something. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm kind of curious to see how many this can get. So
I think you should dye your hair red.
check out... Oh, wait. I wouldn't want to look like an asshole. Oh, wait.
You bastard.
So check that out in the description. It's kind of funny. And we're back for the weekly announcements / Freddy's in Scotland segment.
God.
Freddie...
God, my God. Has it really been a week? It feels like a year.
Well, Freddie, can we please, for the love of God, get a little Scotland update?
All right. Since you asked, so nice. Well, one of my flatmates has returned to me. So I'm now not the loneliest man. I will be the second loneliest. And restrictions should hopefully be loosening up soon, which is very good.
Really?
So, I mean, not a whole lot, but, like, I can actually do sports other than ultimate frisbee, which I know sounds ridiculous, but still.
You were built for ultimate frisbee.
I know. And, yeah, otherwise just been hitting the daily grind. You know how it is.
I know.
Over here in Scotland.
Y'all don't even know how much grinding this man does.
Each other's hype men here.
Realistically, that's what we are in real life. Also, I realized how that's what she said, what I just said was, so I hope that's not taken out of context.
Yeah.
You guys wouldn't do that, would you? Well...
You guys wouldn't be the craziest of dogs, would you?
Well, for once, actually, a positive Scotland update. You love to see it. Well, speaking of positive updates, I will let everyone know, because I was feeling quite under the weather last week, I did, in fact, test negative for the coronavirus.
But positive for everything else.
So, knock on wood, because anything can happen. I don't want this clip to be, Curb Your Enthusiasm theme memed in the future, but which is something that they would totally do, the crazy dogs.
The craziest of dogs here.
But this week, tested negative, so it was probably just a little, I don't know, seasonal bug. But yeah, so not corona, so all good on that front. The fan page has been posting some stuff, or one of the fan pages from Cian. Firstly, there's a post from... No. I just realized now it's from The Onion, but it's just the headline, Animator misses the birth of his child, so Mr. Incredible could have consistently sized penis bulge. Which is just
very
wonderful.
Good. I just love the Onion skits. Very good.
Yeah, the Onion's pretty amazing. Also, yeah, but if that was a real headline, would not surprise me for Bob Parr,
I'm actually surprised it's not a real headline.
I didn't think it was a real headline, but I just thought it said something about Mr. Incredible's penis animation, and then I saw the actual headline and the Onion. I was like, oh, that adds up.
That makes sense.
Me when in Pod 13, BHL calls my country made up. I went back and checked this. Apparently, I called Ireland a made up country. Classic BHL.
Classic BHL geographical skills.
Classic. What was I? 15 at the time? 16? Classic 16-year-old BHL humor. Clearly it's evolved much to this point. The real This has to be my favorite one. It's an article called The Real Reason Tom Cruise Can't Stop Running, and it's just a stock image of a woman where it says, "Do I hear some Tom Cnews?"
I saw that one.
Which is wonderful. And then turns out neither of us actually are following Josh Gad. Which doesn't surprise me for me, because...
No.
But for you...
What do you mean for me?
I mean, you're much more of a Gad fan.
Complimenting me right now.
You're much more of a Gad fan. I'm more of a Gad observer, you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna pretend like I didn't just hear that.
But so, yeah, I hope you rectify. Wait a minute. He searched for the real FDK Gaming. Well, that's not your Instagram tag, is it?
The real FDK Gaming, no. It's F Dalgard.
So maybe you do. Maybe Cian has been duped here. Yeah, I mean, realistically, it still stands.
I sincerely doubt it.
But so thank you, Cian. Link down below to the fan pages in the description. Then want to say I got an email from Richard, who has started the BHL Hudson and, by extension, the Poorly Planned Podcast Discord server. So, I will put a link to that down below. Thank you very much, Richard, and I believe Cian is also a moderator. I will say, I have no idea how Discord works, never used it, and I've not had the chance to check.
I don't plan on joining anytime soon.
It's definitely something I want to look into because I've heard it's it's a very useful thing. Haven't had the chance to look into it yet.
I have to say, I think it's a little bit overrated. I am more of a Skype man myself.
Oh, well, sorry, Richard, for all the...
Yeah, make a Skype group and then we'll talk, Richard.
But, so thank you, Richard. Link down below to that if you want to check that out. I will hopefully check it out sometime in the future. Just haven't gotten to yet. I've been incredibly busy lately with a little thing that I think you guys will hear about in the near future. So, a little tease there. But yeah, thank you, Richard. And if you want to check that out and participate, join, whatever you do with Discord, link down below.
Whatever the hell the kids do these days.
No, I'll try to get to it as soon as possible. And then finally, just a little thing I found this week, because I am a fan of the Justice League animated TV show cartoon thing.
Of course.
And I've been not gonna lie, I have been rewatching some lately because it makes me happy.
I won't lie to you. I want to get women, and therefore Justice League.
But I discovered a clip from... They made this movie, Justice League versus the Fatal Five, which was like a continuation of the Justice League show last year. Still haven't checked it out, weirdly enough, even though I'm like a huge fan of Justice League. But I did see a clip which kind of convinced me that I really do need to check it out. Even though it's been on my list for a while, but it's just a little 15-second thing where the Justice League show up or something. They play a little snippet of the Justice League theme as they show up.
Wait, what's this video called?
I'll FaceTime and I'll show you. Justice.
Premium quality.
Yeah. This is much better. Clip. And so it's just a little 15-second thing, but they show up and then a part of the theme plays. And I just have to say, just hearing that theme song again used in something else, because I don't know if you remember, but when the Justice League movie came out, I was really hoping they would use some version of the theme in some way, like some orchestral version or something. However, we did. They ignored my wishes, but here, look at this. Is that not just the sound? Just it just gets the adrenaline going. You know what I'm saying?
I won't lie to you. If I saw it on my computer, I think I'd be more excited. It sounded so flimsy, and then you sitting there saying, "This is the best thing that's ever happened in the world."
But anyway, so hopefully, again, when I have a bit more time, I will be checking that out. So that has been this week's end announcement thing segment. Fun times. Freddie.
Doesn't sound like you believe it.
Freddie will continue eating his dinner, and we will see you next week. So goodbye.
Adios.
So, thank you very much for listening to this episode. You can find me on YouTube, BHL Hudson, Instagram, Twitter, BHL_Hudson. You can email the pod at bhlhudsonvids@gmail.com. Check out the fan pages, link down below, very fun stuff.
You can find me on Instagram at FDalgard. You can find me on Twitter at FTK_AdultSniper. And you can find me on YouTube at FTK_Gaming.
Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.